Good evening. The most beautiful thing you can wear is your confidence. Welcome to BMC News Live presented by Al Hilal Hospitals and Medical Centers. I am Jasila Mujib joining you with the daily news updates. News headlines. His Majesty the King attended the opening ceremony of Bahrain 2023. Bahrain welcomed the humanitarian pause in Gaza. The President of the United Arab Emirates received the Foreign Minister. The Oil Minister received the Indian oil officials. The Telecommunications Regulatory Authority participated in the World Radio Communication Conference. News in detail. His Majesty the King attended the opening ceremony of Bahrain 2023. Under the patronage of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the opening ceremony of the 6th edition of the Bahrain Animal Production Show Bahrain 2023 was held at the Bahrain International Endurance Village. His Majesty the King was welcomed on arrival by Wael bin Nazar Al Mubarak, the Municipalities Affairs and Agricultural Minister, Chairman of the Supreme Organizing Committee of the Agricultural and Animal Production Exhibition Bahrain 2023 and senior officials. The minister delivered a speech in which he thanked His Majesty the King for his patronage of the 6th edition of the Bahrain Animal Production Show and for ongoing support for the event. The directives of His Majesty the King on holding the exhibition reflect the extent of its success and popularity and Bahrain's leading position in international exhibitions specialized in agricultural and animal production. His Majesty the King said that the participation of the local companies in this edition demonstrated the support for local producers, commenting the cultural, educational and entertainment activities at the exhibition. Bahrain welcomed the humanitarian pause in Gaza. The Kingdom of Bahrain has welcomed the deal on a 4-day humanitarian pause in the Gaza Strip, subject to extension, allowing the exchange of a number of hostages and detained women and children, as well as the delivery of humanitarian relief and medical aid, including fuel to Gaza. In a statement, the Foreign Affairs Ministry commented the joint mediation efforts made by the State of Qatar, the Arab Republic of Egypt and the United States of America. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs urged the international community to intensify diplomatic efforts to reach a permanent ceasefire, release hostages and detainees, as well as ensure the delivery of humanitarian aid in a complete and sustainable manner. The President of the United Arab Emirates received the Foreign Minister. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, received Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, on his official visit to Abu Dhabi to participate in the Bahrain UAE Joint Higher Committee Ministerial Meeting. Dr. Al Zayani conveyed the greetings of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, to His Highness the President of the UAE and their wishes for the people of the UAE for further progress and prosperity. The Oil Minister received the Indian oil officials. Dr. Muhammad bin Mubarak bin Dina, Minister of Oil and Environment and Special Envoy for Climate Affairs, received a delegation from the Indian Petroleum Corporation led by Sri Sanjay Chowdhury, the Director of Finance. Vinod Kurian Jacob, Indian Ambassador to Bahrain, was present. The meeting discussed ways to enhance cooperation in various oil projects. The minister commented the expertise and achievements of Indian petroleum companies in excavation, extraction, production and refinery operations. The ambassador thanked the minister for addressing the topics of common interest to promote investment and cooperation, commenting Bahrain's development in the oil and environment sectors. The Telecommunications Regulatory Authority participated in the World Radio Communication Conference. The Telecommunications Regulatory Authority participated in the opening of the 4-week-long World Radio Communication Conference hosted by the United Arab Emirates. Organized by the International Telecommunication Union every 4 years, the World Radio Communication Conference is among the most important industry events, attracting approximately 4,000 participants, including representatives of member states, international organizations and manufacturers. Now it's time for a short commercial break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahla. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Welcome back. The first GCC Egyptian Business Forum represents keenness to strengthen cooperation. GCC Secretary General. Jazam Mohammed Al-Butawi, Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, participated in the first GCC Egyptian Business Forum held on November 22nd and 23rd with the participation of a select group of officials and businessmen from the GCC and Egypt. Al-Butawi affirmed that the first GCC Egyptian Business Forum held under the theme Business, Partnership, Investment comes to reflect the keenness on both sides to strengthen relations in various economic, investment, industrial and commercial sectors. The Secretary General reviewed the most significant investment opportunities and major projects in the GCC and Egypt. Saudi Arabia and Costa Rica to enhance cooperation. Walid bin Abdul Karim El Khareji, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, met Ambassador Alejandro Solano Orris, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs and Worship of Costa Rica. The first round of political consultations was held between the governments of Saudi Arabia and Costa Rica, according to the Saudi press agency. The two sides discussed the development of relations between the two countries and ways to enhance them in various fields, in addition to discussing many regional and informational issues and the efforts exerted in this regard. China sees mysterious pneumonia outbreak, hospitals flooded with sick children. China, which is still recovering from the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, is facing another possible health emergency. A mysterious pneumonia outbreak has swept through schools and resulted in hospitals being overwhelmed with sick children. This has caused concern among global health experts. The epicenters of this outbreak are Beijing and Liaoning province, where pediatric hospitals are facing an overwhelming number of sick children. The severity of the situation has led to the suspension of classes in some schools as both students and teachers have fallen ill, a situation reminiscent of the early days of COVID-19. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization officially requested that China provide detailed information on an increase in respiratory illnesses and reported clusters of pneumonia in children. Dozens evacuated and 10 homes were destroyed by a wildfire burning out of control in the edge of Perth. Dozens of residents have been evacuated and at least 10 homes destroyed by a wildfire burning out of control on the northern fringe of the west coast city of Perth during heat wave spring conditions. There were no deaths reported, but several firefighters have sustained minor injuries, including smoke inhalation. The fire began Wednesday afternoon in a pine tree plantation on Perth's northeast edge and was fanned overnight by a 60 km/h wind. Hope all hostages are released soon. Gaza war should not become a regional conflict. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi at G20 virtual summit. Hours after Israel and Hamas agreed to a 4-day ceasefire to allow the release of hostages and to allow the entry of humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip, Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcomed the announcement on the release of hostages and expressed the hope that all hostages will be released soon. The deal, once implemented, will be the first major diplomatic breakthrough and pause in fighting since the war began on October 7th. Addressing the G20 virtual summit, the Prime Minister expressed concern over the situation of insecurity and instability in West Asia and underlined that it is important to ensure that the Israeli-Hamas war does not take the form of a regional conflict. With this, we come to the end of today's news. This is Jasila Mujib signing off. Good night.